And this cool thing is getting traction by the day. At a point, we heard information that, look, there was nothing like that. But a few days later, we see arrests being made, including a former governor who was also former minister of state, Petroleum Resources, Timipre Sylva. They searched his home in Abuja, his home in Bayelsa, like his younger brother or brother Paga has been arrested. And we also have rumors that he might be on the run. What do you make of this development, given the, within the context of there was no coup by the sacked chief of defense staff, and the fact that we are hearing that some military officers have been arrested and investigations are ongoing? Can you help us untie, some of those discrepancies within?
Let me start by saying that even before the news broke out, it was rumored that there was a coup, but the report laid credence to that fact. And as at that time, arrests had been made before that report came. So it was difficult for the Directorate of Information in the military to outrightly deny. What they were saying was that they made arrests routinely for certain investigation that is not related to coup. But let's take it that they said there's no coup. But to what end are we having arrests? So it's information coming in lately has shown that there was actually an attempt. We won't say it's a coup, but an attempt coup. And when you look at the pattern of coups in Nigeria, either successful ones, unsuccessful ones, there is usually some civilian elements in some of these coups. You recall the, was it Gideon Okal coup, where it was straight to Great Ogboru's fish farm. And there were some coups in the past, in the 70s and 80s, that were linked to now late Chief M.K. Abiola. So most of these coups are linked to civilians because of two things. Most coups are executed by middle-level officers in the military. They only drag top senior officers into it. And those at that level of captain, majors, lieutenant colonels, they don't have the financial capacity to execute a coup. So they needed civilian collaborators that will provide funding. And that is the allegation against Sylva now. That
he might have bankrolled.
That he might have bankrolled this unsuccessful attempt at toppling the government. Now, as it is today, there are many colorations to this attempted coup. Political, ethnic, and even some bringing in religion into it. Political in the sense that opposition may also have a hand in this. Religious said the preponderance of the 13 arrested are Muslims. Then ethnic, except for one from Imo State that was mentioned, and another one, the rest are northerners.
Now talking about the preponderance of officers from the north, and also the religious coloration to it all. 13 of them, you said, are Muslims, but we also have a Muslim president and vice president. That's on one side of it. Majority of them are from the north. Does it look like a continuation of some kind of discontent, coming from the north against the current administration? The north has been kicking, for the past year, in fact 2 years, since the life of this administration. Since this administration made 6 months, the north has been kicking. You have pushed us out. We have been shortchanged. We are not getting our due. Does it have anything to do with the political angle to it, like the north trying to?
There is this funny side to what you are raising. The North are still aggrieved.
About what?
An average Northerner is not counting the number of years the Northerners has ruled since independence. When they want to talk, they will start from 1999. As if you are erasing history altogether. And they will say, out of 26 years of the Fourth Republic, they said they have only experienced 10. Buhari 8, Yar'Adua 2. And the rest, 16. By the time this administration ends next year, it will be 18 out of 28 years. So they feel that there must be a balance. And so, another thing again is, take away governance, political office from Northerners. They hardly feel comfortable.
Okay.
Out of governance.
Okay. All right. Before we go to our online guests, who have joined us from our stations, there's one in Benin City. Let's have your take, Mr. Somi Uranta, on this. The issue of this coup. What's your reaction? Do you think it has anything to, do with the politics of it? Like Mr. Fanimo said, is it a North-South divide of a thing? They're not trying to catch up, with the South. And if they do that, how would that, help them in trying to create a balance in the number of years between the North and the South?
As for me, when this rumor started gaining traction from the onset, I was looking at it. Then every other day, you see things, activities, actions being taken, to give credence to that rumor, to the point where we are today. But my concern is that in this whole scenario, what is the reason behind it? What could be the possible reason behind that kind of action?
That was the next question I wanted to ask you. What is really happening? Why are we going towards coup when we've gotten that, looking at the political space, the APC ruling party actually have like 30, or by 2026, according to what someone projected, will have 30 governors. In the National Assembly, the Senate to be precise, they have 2/3. So when people are moving over to the party, how come we're getting a plot for coup?
You see, when there is satisfaction, I really do not even see see it from the purview where my colleague here, Mr. Dele Fanimo, was looking at it. I'm looking at it from the area of, the life of the average Nigerian. How have they fared before, now, and now? And I may even want to jump the ship to say that whatever thing that is the cause of it, which I don't want to start hazarding any guess, democracy must come with dividends to the people. And there is no matter. Recently now, I have seen how there has been changes in the security architecture of the country. But that is not, a panacea. It's not something that will stop any action. What we need is a people-focused governance. Nigerians are suffering. That is the truth. So, politicians don't learn any lesson. They don't learn. If you check from what has led to different posh actions, from, is it the one in the 60s, in the 70s, and all through the 80s, you find out that during Shagari time, somebody said Nigerians are eating from the dustbin. Somebody said it's a lie. But if you look at life then, we're in paradise then. Today, look at the average Nigerian. The 1,000 naira you have cannot buy you food from a buka by the roadside.
All right.
So Nigerians are disaffected. So the only way out is for the government now to begin to look at beyond the changing, tweaking the security architecture, is to quickly rally around and start giving Nigerians hope real practical hope that they can take home.
Thank you so much for your submission, Mr. Somi. Let's take the conversation to Comrade Chris Ojekere, who is a public affairs analyst and a political commentator. He joined us from our Benin studios. Good morning, Comrade Chris Ojekere. Good to have you join today's conversation. Now, what do you make of the particular news that we just heard about soldiers invading the house of the former governor, Timipre Sylva? And just suppose that with the fact that before now, Nigerians were talking about the cabinet and how it should be rejigged. And, you know, we didn't really see much coming up. I'm talking about especially when it gets to the ones in charge of the security architecture. Nothing really happened much, but suddenly, during the Independence Day, we learned that we're having to have a low-key, no parade. You know, some people come up to say that was because there was going to be a queue and all that. We don't really know about it. And the government, or rather the president, have come up to deny such statements, saying there's nothing like that. But suddenly today, we're getting another information that someone's house has been invaded. 16 top officers also arrested. And it was on Friday that we saw, will I say, a rejigging or reshuffling of a cabinet. Help us actually walk around this, please.
I'll start like this. This is a price on incompetence and opacity that you can never get to pin down any consistency with respect to information dissemination, you know, for their actions. I'm happy that you have continued to use the word there, which is what it is, that it was a rumor, and it stays a rumor because the government hasn't given any official, any formal announcement that they carried out that raid. And the man in whose house the raid was carried out, Timipre, we haven't heard from him. We haven't heard from him with respect to all the rumor about the coup or his involvement with the coup. Now, so we are operating in the realm of speculation. When the rumor started, the government official didn't, and now the government hasn't come back formally that there was a coup attempt and that these are the steps that have been taken, which includes this raid. Now, assuming without conceding that there was a coup attempt, why has the government suddenly become a victim of the people's anger and, you know, split? That's the question that should worry the government, and whom I refer to as the Port Harcourt boy wanted to take it from. Why has the government become a victim of the people's anger? That's what the government should worry about. The groups and advocates are planning to shut down the National Assembly. We are told that in the National Assembly there's a threat to the Assembly, that civilians are beginning to mobilize the military against the government of the day. Why is the government now a victim of the people's anger? You see, government must be eternally and actually victim. Why should we have a coup? This regime, one of the sing-song in Nigeria, which was appreciated by all Nigerians, is how well we have been able to manage our democracy from 1999 up until 2023. We became very proud of our democracy. People between 20-something years democracy. Democracy suddenly under threat. When you break down institutions that strengthen democracy, when you attack the judiciary, destroy the judiciary, and people no longer feel that they have a place for redress, when you attack government and introduce military into a civilian and democratic did in Rivers State, I said this and I wrote an article about it in Rivers State. I said, those who bring so they not complain of flies. If you begin as a president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, democratically elected, to bring democratically elected government in the subunits and introduce ex-military generals to come and be administrators, then you are showing the military that there's a cookie jar somewhere and they become interested in it. So if there was a coup, assuming again without conceding, then the president should blame himself for reintroducing the military back to the civilian setting and letting them know that they are more trusted to handle politically, political issues in Rivers State than they, the civilians, elected. The government should have the victim of the anger of the people and sit up to get right. This is another diversion. If you look at of all rumor, you don't have only 16 people involved in any coup. And it's been on for about 3 weeks. Only 16 people have still been arrested. I mean, look at the of coup. So, this is a jamboree, this is a diversion, which the government is trying to, orchestrate so as to divert us away from its failures. So the government should ask themselves, why are the people at the government? Why are they directing their anger at the government if actually there was anything like a coup plot?
So let me understand your position. Let me understand your position. Are you saying this is diversionary? That there probably wasn't any, and government is just trying to whip up sentiments? Or are you saying the people are aggrieved, and that's the reason there might be something like a coup? I'm trying to understand your position here.
I'm saying both. I'm saying that if they come out with a formal statement and give us clarity about who planned the coup.
Now, why would you think that government would deny such if there was something like that? Why would government deny and say, oh no, there was nothing like this, but then we are seeing arrests being made? I mean, when the news about 16 soldiers came up, there was also the news about some governors, some former governors being part of it. And now we hear that the house of Timipre Sylva was raided. So help us understand why there will be that denial and arrest will be made, basically buttressing the rumor that there was probably a coup. Why would government deny? Is it not to instigate further possibility or further happenings in the future? Or to paint a picture that all is well? The picture that all is well?
There is nothing that helps citizens' patriotism than clarity. You have a badly written script that was poorly thought out, and then everybody wasn't carried along about the script. And so you have officials of government not aware of what the script was. You could have denial, and then you're having actions contradicting those denials in another quarter from the same government. So you have opacity, you have vision, and you have if it was badly written, everybody wasn't carried along. Now, if it is, that's why I say assuming without considering. If it is real, then the actions being carried out would have been more pronounced. We would have seen much more people arrested, would have got much more details, and they will all be coming official formally from government. They will be left in the rumor, in the realm of speculations and rumor. The fact now is that government has allowed for fit Ptolemies and conspiracy theories because the government have not shown anything. So whatever theory anybody is putting out there is acceptable because once you have a rumor in space and the government is giving credence to certain actions that are completely unexplainable to the citizens, then you accept the theory that is being put out there. So there are several theories. We are working on all the theories. As far as I'm concerned, Christopher Jekwe here, and if the government thinks that there is, let him show us more people involved. Let him tell us how they planned it. Let him give us. Let him show us. Don't keep 16 military officers. The 16 military officers alone cannot plan coup. The way the army is structured and the way coup intentions are structured. Before you get to the point of arrest, then there would have been so many people involved. So I think the government has it wrote very badly and is giving it out, creating more confusion and diverting the Nigerian people from what they should be doing. I mean, I can't understand why he would plan a coup against the party's president, because Timipre Sylva is of the APC. He was in the last regime. The last regime, Tinubu was the one who was the regime of Buhari. So they are out of the persuasion. So what does Sylva stand to gain by plotting a coup when he's part of that ruling house, when he's part of that political party? So it's all very, very senseless to me. I think the government has to come out cleaner and let us know why all he's orchestrating all of it.
All right then. Thank you very much, Comrade Chris Ojekere. So government really should save Nigerians the stress of having to think it might be this or that. But with history, let me come to you, Mr. Fanibo. With the aid of history, we've seen how coups were carried out in the past and how announcements are. I mean, basically, some other people within the military may not even know until there's an announcement on Radio Nigeria specifically, that the government has been taken over by certain individuals, and that's it. And then that's how information is shared. But now that we have information everywhere, I mean, people we can just get news from bloggers and Instagram and the rest of them. You think coups can succeed in Nigeria of today, the way things are?
Well, the little I know is that as enforcers of the law keep changing the law as much as we experience certain things that are non-part of our culture, the same way the criminals also evolves. The criminal will always evolve one way or the other. And so, I'm sure most Nigerians will say, because of the proliferation of radio stations, TV stations, that where would you announce that will be effective? But the military would always evolve with time and the dynamics of the society. From the snippet we got from reports out there and from other sources, any coup that will be planned now will not be the scale of coup that IBB planned to remove Buhari from office. It was said to be bloodless. Some said palace coup and all that. But any coup that will be planned now, because of this proliferation and diverse nature, is likely to result to mutiny. And we were told, after the arrest of these men, that they had earmarked some top politically exposed people for elimination. And that is bordering on mutiny. And so that's why any right-thinking Nigerian should detest and discourage a coup. Because any coup that snowballs into mutiny, mass killing, would already, it's like we are sitting on a keg of gunpowder. Imagine a section of the country planning a coup and targeting another section of the country. Already the ethnic lineage, cleavages had already been established.
So we might just see a repeat of the Civil War if care is not taken.
Right, something greater than the Civil War.
And that's not what
that's not what we pray for now. And that's not what we wish. So it is better for us as well-meaning Nigerians to denounce this. Because sometimes you may know the beginning of a crisis.
You obviously
may not
can
be.
know
You may not
end
be.
of it.
Yes.
All right, now let's look at information available to us and how to help government act better. I'm coming to you now, Mr. Oranta. Now, service chiefs were changed. We saw that those that were removed have been given some juicy package. $60,000 as announced, $60,000 medicals, bulletproof car, $6,000 annually, bulletproof car. The previous ones were given $20,000, bulletproof car and all of that. Now, with the information of how a certain part of the country is involved in this, we've seen the chief of defense staff being changed. Some have said, it's the president wants his own kinsman there to protect his interests, which of course, it's not out of place if you feel there are threats to your reign Is this the end? Has this been nipped in the bud? Is there a possibility that there might be something else? What can government do to ensure that the people are not, aggrieved to the point where they will call for such? Because during the hunger what's that, the protest? End bad governance. People were calling, Nigerians were calling the military to come and save them, which of course is bad, in bad taste. Is this the end? What can government do? Is it too late for the government to redeem itself? And I would like, as you respond, I will also like Comrade Chris Ojekere to respond to the same question. Comrade Chris, if you can hear me, please. I would like your reaction after that of Somi Ranta. Go ahead, please.
Yes, you see, it's never too late. In fact, it is better late than never. There's a saying in our African setting that when you blame the hawk that came to swoop on the chick and take the chick away, then you come back and you blame the chick for wandering away from the circle of, there are many with the mother hen. So one that's straight, because the hawk won't have the strength, the capacity to come down to the place and take, you have to kill the mother hen. So it's one that wandered away from the, cycle that it will attack. So if after blaming the hawk that came to take it, you also blame the one that wandered. So now what I'm saying is that we have to, the government, I'm insisting that the government must address the issues of hunger in the land. Hunger knows no tribe, no ethnicity, no religion. The people, the worst thing you can do to governance is when people are complaining and you want to shut them up. That is the worst thing you can do to yourself. And also, this air of trying to stop people from, trying to create a system where there is no opposition. The opposition, your enemies, those who are your critics, are your greatest advantage, because there are special blessings you get from those who are criticizing you. They are your watchdogs. They are the ones that helps you, tell you if you are derailing. But if everybody is saying, clapping for you, you won't know when you are meeting, you're going to fall into a ditch. So that's why in democracy, everybody, all the institutions, everybody have to thrive.
Okay.
The good, the bad, and the ugly, so that we can sift and get the best for the system. The country, as it is, the only way out for us to follow is to ensure that the governance system is responsive to the needs of the Nigerian people. That's the only way, the only option available. If we fail that, then we are looking for trouble. The problem is not even the military, it is the people. The day the people will be pushed to the wall to the extent that who are the military? How many are they? If the Nigerian people decide to come out, and we are seeing it, what happened in Nepal. So we have to be careful. The handwritings on the wall are very ominous. We have to be careful.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Somi Ranta. Comrade Chris, your reaction, and then we'll wrap this up.
There's a verse in the scriptures that says, curse, costless, comes not. Curse, costless, comes. Life is all about cause and effect, relationship. If it happens, in those states we have a parable. Say, hunger will get hope, not the key person. But create a season of enemy, and you make that there is nothing to really hope for in your administration or in. Then people begin to look for alternatives. Survival is the first law of nature. So that is why you find that during that time, people were calling for the military. Because democracy is a promise. It's a promise of hope. It operates on the aspiration of people. And as long as people have aspiration and they build their ambitions around their aspirations, if you meet them, you don't meet their aspirations and ambitions. People have hope that tomorrow they are going to improve and progress. But if every time you dash their hope, their aspirations, you destroy the electoral system in such a way as when people go to the polls to vote and they already read that they have a franchise on behalf of the person they have chosen. But when the results are beginning to come, there's a certain glitch, and that glitch now results in converting that result to the people they have rejected, and you make them to rule over them. Their hope is dashed. In those states, for instance, when we are transit from the previous government into the government that we have now in Edo State. We are the person we have chosen to improve on the great work that was done by the former governor. For instance, we have a command and control system that became very efficient. As we could call emergency numbers, we could call in Edo State, and crime rate was reduced to the barest minimum. In the past 2-3 weeks, Edo have lost, or well, they didn't die, but at least we have had 2 of our daughters brutally taken into the forest, and you can imagine as good as mine happened to them in the forest. One of them is freed and one of them is still there. There is angst here, there's anger, angry, because we had a choice to exercise our franchise on behalf of that choice, knowing that we have competence in that place that will take us to where we want to go and make Edo safer. So when you frustrate people, when you dash their hopes and you destroy their aspirations, what did Awolowo say? He said, it doesn't make peaceful changing impossible, make violent change inevitable. So why we detest coup, and we should detest coup, I mean, democracy has its own way of correcting itself, but there is just so much that you can do. Look at what is happening in Cameroon now. There's just so, look at what happened just a few months ago. So there's just so much that you can do as a president. There's just so far to which you can push people before they begin to react.
Now, when you say there's
like
a fact, we can push people for them to begin with. We can push for them. Are we saying at this point that Africans are waking up, or rather they are now fully awoke from the issues, or rather trying to set themselves free from, let's say bad leadership or bad governance? Because it's more like we're having this little pockets of upheaval, from protests to military coup. For example, in Madagascar, Rajolina actually is no longer the president for now. We have a military head of state there. The same thing actually transpired in Burkina Faso, in Niger, in Mali, and also in Cameroon. It made mention of people are not really happy with the re-election of the president, Paul Biya, to the point that 4 persons, were killed just on Monday because of the protests that the people are bringing up. And in Nigeria today, where after 29 years of democracy, we're getting information, though allegedly, about a possible coup or plot.
His basket mouth, if you listen to one of his jokes in those days, he said if something happens once, it's called incident. If it happens twice, it's coincidence. He said, but if it happens the 3rd time, my sister, God get hand this side. So that is what is happening right now. You can no longer call this a coincidence. It's a pattern. Pattern that the people have chosen and have seen. It's a journey of redemption. When we criticize coup, I have just said, curse costless comes not. We should avoid coups. And the only way to avoid coups is to make everybody happy in the house. We cannot have so much resources in Nigeria, and Nigerians are suffering. When you have the resources and you are suffering, whoever is there, you soon get tired of his rhetoric. And you begin to crave action to convert those resources to work for yourself. And then you are likely to take whatever option that is open to you. And a hungry man is an angry man. So it is easy to say that we should things over, but it is something that will help the people. Let the people know where you are taking them. Let them know that they have hope. Let them know that they have a future. We can't say any of such in Nigeria. We can't say any of such in this regime. So I am not advocating for coup, but revolution is even worse. The spoke about anarchy. He actually meant that if you allow Nigeria to burst, it's not going to have direction.
Some persons will still tell you that without revolution, you and I will not be enjoying what we have today, and all that. But thank you so much, Comrade Chris Ojekere, for your submission. And I also, the gentleman to still be with us as we dissect the second topic of conversation, where we'll have another information from House of Reps revealing threats from terrorists to bomb National Assembly Complex. Also recall that there was also a DSS information made available that if care is not taken, the ISWAP would try their best to attack a certain state here in Nigeria. Let's look into this after this quick break. Stay with us.